I see Christy first comment. Zach, always late. We will wait. My apologies, folks. Running a little behind here, just getting everything dialed in. Wanted to give everybody an opportunity to join us here for today's live show. This is going to be a lot of fun. I told you that we were going to pick it up, and boy, are we picking it up with a big one. We will be giving away 1,000 XRP. I'm going to read off the details for this shortly. Before I do, I just want to say thank you to everybody in this community that supports what we're doing on a daily basis, bringing you content on current events, financial markets, and how to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Couldn't be doing it without your support. And we had a big one come through. Okay, we had a really big one come through. Our good friend 1970 Legend, you might see him here in the chat here with us today. Had a conversation with him today, and we were talking about, giving back to the community. And he came up with the bright idea of giving 1,000 XRP away. I said, we can do that. We can get that done. And so what we're going to do here, I'm going to read off the rules of this giveaway. I try to keep it as simple as possible for everybody. And the way that we're going to do this is 2 folks are going to receive 500 XRP each. So it's going to be 1,000 XRP total, but we'll have 2 winners of 500 XRP. This is after we just gave away 300 XRP, and that was on Sunday. So we're back here for our regular Tuesday and Thursday live shows every Tuesday, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern. And I told you guys you're going to want to stick around. You're going to want to hit that notification bell, not only because we're going to start doing fun stuff like this, but also because we like to provide the best analysis on the current events in crypto markets. So I hope that you guys appreciate that. All of our community resources are available at zachrector.com. But to enter this giveaway tonight, all you need to do is simply place an order for merch. You can do it on TikTok Shop for TikTok tuning in here tonight. Appreciate you, TikTok. You can place an order on TikTok Shop or on the website. But all you need to do to enter this giveaway is simply place an order during tonight's live show. Now, I already saw a handful of orders come in while you guys were waiting for me to arrive. I'm going to count those orders. The fact that I was running late, I'm not going to punish you. So there was a handful of orders that came in before I officially hit the live button. We're going to let those ones come in, but it's going to be a hard cutoff at the end of tonight's show. Now, I do have a big live show tonight, so you will have some time to go get the credit card, go get some money, do what you have to do to get in your order if you want to participate in this giveaway. And so real quick, I'll read off once again. I have it pinned in the comments, but let me read this off for everybody. To enter the 1,000 XRP giveaway, just simply place an order for merch from our website or the TikTok Shop during tonight's live show. Remember, hard cutoff when I kill the live show. Now, barring any aliens coming after us tonight, we should be able to go live for an hour or so here. I got a pretty big show lined up. We got a full update, so you're going to have some time here. But it needs to be during tonight's live show. And I'll give you a 17-minute warning as we're approaching the end of the show. I want to make sure everybody who wants to participate can get in. But the order must be placed during the live show. Orders collected after the live show ends will not be entered into the giveaway. ZachRector.com/shop is the website. Linked up down below as well. And the winners of the giveaway, we're going to pick 2, will be selected at random during the live show on Thursday, May 1st, 2025. So we're going to have 2 winners will be chosen to receive 500 XRP. Thank you for your support. Good luck and God bless to all participants. And once again, this is a fun way. 1970 Legend is the one who is sponsoring this giveaway. I don't have a sponsor here, but when it comes to helping and giving back to the community, 1970 Legend has come through a few times already, helping us send merch to Australia with free shipping. And then we're going to take it to another level here with this one today, 1,000 XRP. I don't know anybody that's given away this much XRP. So God bless 1970 Legend. I already told him it's going to come back to him tenfold. It's going to come back to you guys tenfold. And, this is the XRP family. Like, it's not Lambos and, bottles and little silly stuff. Like, we're going to change the world. I truly believe that. Now, there are going to be some silly stuff that, some guys are going to go blow it, and that's okay. That's inevitable. But everybody that I speak to in this community is out here with a clear purpose and mission to make the world a better place. We're hoping that distributed ledger technology will enable us to do so, and we'll create this internet of value on a level playing field using it. Right? That's the end goal. And yes, we will participate in some massive amounts of profit, because we've invested in the right assets that are really going to be the rails. But I tell you what, nothing makes me more motivated than speaking with you guys, whether it be one-on-one calls, Discord calls, and X Spaces, just reading your guys' comments every single day. You guys really help me and motivate me to show up every single day. And this is what makes my job not feel like a job, makes this so much freaking fun. And this is why we're not going anywhere, even after XRP goes to 589. And I can let you guys play around with the math when XRP goes to $1,000 or $10,000. Yes, 1970 Legend is probably giving away millions of bucks here. But it's going to come back to him tenfold, guaranteed. Guaranteed. No question about that in my mind. And it's going to come back tenfold to all of you guys in the XRP community who continue to pass it forward as well. God bless all of you guys. Good luck. And let's get going here. We got a big one coming up. Alberta introduces bill to hold a referendum vote on leaving Canada. Okay. So we have Canada with their new Prime Minister, Mark Carney. I'm bringing this up because I find it funny. It's like I keep on hearing from the folks in Alberta, they want to get away. And other people too. I talk to a lot of Canadians that are absolutely fed up with what's taking place. But I wanted to clarify because in this morning's update, I shared a clip of Mark Carney and his accomplishments and kind of where he's from. I wasn't praising or saying that this is good. I want to just clarify that because some people, I think it might have came off as I was saying that, he was well accomplished and going to be a great prime minister or something. So I just want to clarify that that's not what I was saying. What I was saying is that Mark Carney's who we have to deal with now. It's just like in America, whether you like Trump or don't like Trump or are offended by Trump or love Trump or worship Trump, he's who we're dealing with, right? And we're dealing with Mark Carney. That's what we're up against in Canada. We got Claudia down in Mexico. And the point that I was trying to get across is that Mark Carney wants to roll out a new financial system. We have him on the record. We have him in the interviews. When he was at the Bank of England as the head of the Bank of England, that's when they were partnered up with Ripple, trialing and testing XRP. So that's my point. Not that Mark Carney's a good guy. I'll let him take that up with our maker when he goes to cross the pearly gates, and we'll see if he meets that threshold. My point being, he's who we're dealing with, and he's going to roll this thing over. He's going to reset the financial system, just like the IMF said in their most recent blog post, that the monetary order is being reset. What was once a conspiracy theory is here before us, being admitted by the largest entities within our financial system today. Continuing on, and we're going to bring it back to America. Secretary Bessent just gave us a peek into the tax bill Congress is working on. Here is what to expect. The 2017 tax cuts, which were set to expire and would have been the largest tax hike that we've ever had in America had they expired, are going to be permanent. So no more having to come up with another bill to make these tax cuts, return. We're just going to make them permanent. And once again, the thread here is we're moving in the right direction, but I'd like to see even more. No tax on tips, no tax on OT, no tax on Social Security. American-made auto interest deductible. Good, great, good start. And I told you guys, these were the icebreakers. I'm going to show you the clip here of President Trump clowning on the Fed once again. It's coming up. For businesses, full expensing for equipment, full expensing for factories, deregulation, cheap energy, regulatory certainty, and that's big for crypto. He also confirms that tariffs will work as a replacement for revenue for these tax breaks. I forget what tariff China actually exempted. I forget which product it was. Maybe you guys can remind me in the chat. But he did. We did see China actually lift their tariff on one of our products. I forget. I can't remember if it was ethanol, something like that, where they actually lift. They had a 125% tariff, and they've already pulled that one. Okay. So we're going to continue to watch that unfold. But on the tariff trade war, Secretary Howard Lutnick said that a trade deal is now done, pending final approval from the country's leader and parliament. Now, this could be India. It's likely that India is going to be one of the first countries that we do get a deal done with. And it seems that we got a big shift taking place from our dealings with China, bringing in India to kind of fill some of these gaps. But the market did rally earlier today on this news. I don't know why the market's coming back down. I mean, Trump did his rally, and I didn't really hear him say anything too crazy. So I don't really know why. I mean, I was looking at Twitter before we got on here, checking the news. I'm not seeing any big reason on why the market would be down right now, but it's really not even down by that much. And XRP still closed off the day well above $2.20, but I'll show you the XRP chart later. The Atlanta Fed has revised their U.S. Q1 2025 real GDP growth estimate down from 2.4% to 2.7%, so it's even worse. It's getting even worse again. And when you adjust for gold imports and exports, they now see the U.S. GDP contracting by 1.5%. If this is the actual reported number, then we are 1 quarter off of a technical recession. Now, they're not going to change how they track real GDP as far as excluding the gold imports. The gold imports work against our exports, and that's what's hitting our GDP so drastically. Now, we would still be negative, at least they're forecasting that we would still be negative even if you remove our gold imports. But we still, the way that it's calculated, we still do include gold imports. And so it's going to be negative by quite a bit, most likely, if they're right with their forecast here, which you know how economists are with their forecast. But the Atlanta Fed with their real GDP now has been pretty close, relatively close from what I've seen. And so the consensus is that we are going to get a negative first quarter reading delivered to us tomorrow. Maybe the market got tipped off to that and they're moving back down. But if that is the case, if our Q1 GDP did get negative, I expect the market to rebound because the market's going to be saying, well, here's more ammunition for President Trump. Or sorry, not President Trump isn't in control of the Fed, right? For Jerome Powell and the Fed to cut rates, right? If GDP is negative, inflation's coming down, economy's in recession, then we're going to have ammunition to cut rates. Now, speaking of the Fed, here's what President Trump had to say about Powell. And you can just tell this guy does not respect the Fed at all. Like, this whole thing has been hilarious because he called Jerome Powell a loser, called him Mr. Late. He's always late. Now tonight, President Trump saying that he knows more about interest rates than Jerome Powell. But if you recall last week, he came back and he gave the markets a little bit of relief, a sigh of relief, because he answered a question saying, no, I have no intentions of firing Jerome Powell. But he definitely doesn't have any intentions of respecting Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve after tonight's statement. Take a listen on this one. And this to me just proves that he's willing to put everything on the table. He's willing to put everything on the table when it comes to negotiations. Take a listen.
Inflation is basically down, and interest rates came down despite the fact that I have a Fed person who's not really doing a good job, but I won't say that. I want to be very nice. I want to be very nice and respectful to the Fed. You're not supposed to criticize the Fed. You're supposed to let him do his own thing, but I know much more than he does about interest rates, believe me. Inflation is basically down.
Does that sound like a guy that respects the Fed at all? See, this is what I love is the fact that we've started the icebreaker for the conversation was no tax on tips, no tax on OT. And then we've gone to, hey, we just might get rid of the IRS completely. We might transition the IRS back to the Treasury. And we are going to be removing the income, payroll, estate, and gift taxes. That's the direction that they want to go. That's where the end of the path takes us. But you got to get the ball rolling. You got to build up some momentum. The problem that we're having right now, the disconnect between President Trump's statements on inflation coming back down, and everybody's wondering, what the hell are you talking about, Mr. President? Because I'm still paying a bunch at the pump. I'm still paying a bunch for groceries. It's crazy out here. And it's because the inflation has compounded over years. And we got an example of it shared right here. And the best indicator, you could look at CPI, you could look and let the economists dissect this and decode this 1,000 different ways. How much does your Happy Meal cost at McDonald's? How much does your Big Mac cost at McDonald's? How much does your tacos cost at Taco Bell? I know you shouldn't be eating that crap, but it's a gauge of real inflation, and it's why nobody is feeling relief. When you look at McDonald's prices right here, I don't know how well zoomed in. Yeah, this is fairly well zoomed in for you guys. Medium French fries, end of 2019 price, $1.79. Middle of 2024, $4.19. See, I remember taking $5 to BK, to McDonald's. You take $5 and you get a couple burgers and a fry and you're set. You might even be able to get a drink, or you get a water cup and you put a little pop in it. I remember doing that when I was a kid and I only had $5, right? What the hell does $5 get you anywhere now? Nothing. And this is just silly examples. Your McChicken up to $3.89. It was $1.29 end of 2019. Your Big Mac went from $4 to $7.49 for crap. And it's the same thing with Taco Bell. Your beefy 5-layer, if you believe that that's beef. Oh boy, $1.69 to $3.69, right? Chick-fil-A. I wish I could have Chick-fil-A more often, even though that's crap. It's a change up. Oh, no, I don't have Chick-fil-A in my area, actually. They went from $3.65 for their deluxe to $6.55. So you're looking at 79% increase, 96% increase, 81% increase. The beefy 5-layer at Taco Bell is a 118% increase. McDonald's, 134%. McChicken, 201%. Cheeseburger, 215%. Oh my gosh, if President Trump wanted done tariffs, oh wait, the tariffs are not actually resulting in inflation yet. You see, this is what I've been talking about. We have this compounding inflation. We have corporate price gouging, taking your McChicken from $1 to $4. Corporate gouging, price gouging is taking place. And, I don't blame them necessarily. They can get away with this now. The crazy thing is this is crap. See, you used to, you would do fast food because it was cheap. You knew it was bad. You knew you shouldn't be having it. But you could take $5 and fill yourself up with whatever the hell's in their ingredients, right? But for $5, you could fill yourself up. Now you're paying dang near restaurant prices to go get fed crap at the trough there. It's crazy. And this is why we're not feeling the relief. But I'm bringing this up to showcase that the compounding inflation, but also to make the point, this got out of control with the inflation way before President Trump even mentioned the word tariff. And we can't forget that. That's a very important point that the mainstream media won't mention. They don't want to talk about the inflation that took place not just under Biden, but under Trump's first administration too. I'm not going to say that Trump's clean. When he was in office the first term, we opened up Powell's Pandora's box and President Trump let him. Because President Trump made sure that those funds were going to come back to the Treasury where then they could direct them. And that was the start of merging the Fed within the Treasury. See what's happening here? So once again, what are we to do to survive this, inflation? That yes, the rate of inflation is coming down, but the compounding inflation is still eating away at our savings and it's eating away at our purchasing power. Well, it's very simple. We stack hard assets for defensive measures. And then when it comes to trying to make money, we got to try to make essentially as much as possible within our jobs and our businesses. But for me, it's been, where can we knock it out of the park? Where can we show up and have investment opportunities that give us not just, 5%, 10%, 20% upside, but we're hitting dingers out of the park with 3 baggers, 5 baggers, 10 baggers. And it shouldn't have to be like this. The average retail investor should be able to invest in the markets, let that grow, let that compound, and have the white picket fence and live happily ever after. But we're so far from that. And if you think that you can still live within that model, you will get left behind. So the point being, we have to stack it up, continue to stack as much as possible, and then roll it in as much as we can, roll as much cash as we can into the suppressed assets on the defensive side of our portfolio. And then we got to go hard. We can't be looking to get 5% on our money. 5% is not going to move the needle for us when we got 100% inflation on your groceries, right? Now, continuing on, speaking of inflation and that money printer, Tether has minted a total of 2 billion USDT on Ethereum. And see, this is the reversal that we've been talking about. I think that we've seen the worst. The market's been completely desensitized to the tariffs. And so we bottomed out at $1.60 back at the beginning of April. We've moved back up. And it's funny because I dropped the video this morning titled XRP Bulls in Control. And I very simply explained in that video that I was saying XRP bulls are in control, not in the context of XRP's pumping today, but the fact that we are holding so well above $2.20. We'd gone above $2.30. We traded at $2.30 all day long. And right here at the end of the day, we fell off a little bit. But I mean, XRP, where are we at right now? We're still at $2.24, $2.24 basically. We're still at $2.24 for XRP. And we're about to flip the day green. I mean, we closed off the day here at about $2.24. And so we did have a red day, but that was because the day before we closed off at basically $2.30. And if you look, I mean, we're just setting a series of higher lows. It's very simple. I mean, do I need to draw the picture here? Do we need to draw the trend line? It's nothing but higher lows being printed for XRP. And this is why I said XRP bulls are in control. But people don't understand. Oh, but we just came down 12 cents. Yes, over the period of an hour. But did we set a lower low? No. Did we close the day above $2.20, which is our main level accumulation zone between 220 and 250? Yes. So is there anything to worry about? No, not at all. This party's just getting started with Tether minting another 2 billion on Ethereum today. The DXY is also broken down below 100 twice in the last decade, and both times resulted in a Bitcoin mania phase, and really I would say a broader cryptocurrency risk-on phase. It's on the verge of breaking down below 100 again. Let's see if history rhymes. And yes, that dollar DXY index did look to break down here below 100. We'll see where it's at right now. Let me check on my watch list. Yeah, DXY right now at 99. So we are below 100. We'll see if this lasts. But we have everything lining up. Tether's printing. The dollar DXY index is down. The Fed's about to turn on the money printers. But before we even get to the Fed turning on the money printers and dropping rates, there's already a record amount of M2 money supply globally. Money and cash waiting on the sidelines, waiting to be deployed. Now, speaking of deploying assets, BlackRock coming in heavy. BlackRock files for digital share class DLT shares of its $150 billion money market fund. The shares will use blockchain technology to mirror ownership. This is why not for 1 second are you going to hear me get bearish about real utility, especially utility based in America. Not for 1 freaking second am I going to get bearish about this market, because I know what these suits are doing. These suits cannot wait to sell these products. BlackRock cannot wait to sell their XRP ETF. They cannot wait to sell their basket ETF that includes XRP and other digital assets. They cannot wait to create multiple dozens of products for the digital asset space to sell. And you're already seeing it. They're starting by rolling over this $150 billion money market fund, going to be using blockchain technology to mirror ownership. Now, I believe that this is why the ETFs have been delayed. It's a matter of BlackRock needs to get in along with other big Wall Street players who aren't quite ready yet. And then the second part, as it pertains to XRP, is the lawsuit is still going on. So today we get the official news that the SEC has delayed making a decision on the Franklin Templeton XRP spot ETF until June 17th. Now, I still am waiting to get the official confirmation on the ProShares XRP ETF. It sounds like those have been delayed. There's 3 of them. It sounds like those have been delayed till May as well. I forget what the exact day is. May 14th or something like that. But we saw that being circulated around. I was just waiting to verify if that was real or not. But we did get this filed today by the SEC, and that was a delay in their decision for the Franklin Templeton spot ETF, and we can expect that they'll be delaying the other ETFs that were due for a response here in May as well. And so we wait for the case to settle up. We wait for BlackRock and other players to get their ducks in a row, but they're about to flip the switch and go live. And these ETFs, JP Morgan predicts, are going to bring 4 to 8 billion of inflows into XRP. And this will be in the first year. So it'll be over a period of, 6 to 12 months. And during that time, I don't expect my market cap multiplier to be as dramatic. But even if we run with the conservative assumption, we are talking about XRP's market cap growing by hundreds of billions based off of those inflows. And I also think that JP Morgan, along with Standard Chartered and everybody else that's been forced to finally acknowledge XRP, put out predictions about XRP, and now they're sharing the bullish predictions about XRP because they're ready to sell you a product. You see how that works? What you got to ask yourself, what are the incentives? What are the incentives? Standard Chartered and everybody else has now flipped bullish because they're ready to sell you an XRP ETF, an XRP index fund, a basket ETF that includes XRP. They're ready to custody your XRP. Now, the delay does not just pertain to XRP though. I saw this is terrible for the XRP community. No, it's not. Are you in a short-term trade? Are you in a leverage trade where you need XRP to pump tomorrow? What are we talking about here? This is not bad for the XRP community. No, it's our timeline's been delayed again. I understand how frustrating that can be, but is it bad for us? No. It gives us more time to accumulate, which is exactly what they're doing as well. And like I said, it does not pertain just to XRP. They also delayed the Bitwise Doge ETF application until June 15. And I've already mentioned this, and I will not be surprised when they go live with a Dogecoin ETF on the same day that they go live with the XRP ETF. In a complete mockery to XRP to keep you distracted, which is what all of these meme coins and other crap does. Keep your eyes off of XRP. Watch closely here. They're probably going to approve the Doge ETF, and they'll probably approve a Litecoin ETF, and some other stupid ETF, Melania coin ETF will be approved on the same day because they want you out. Don't you get it? This has been suppressed for years, and we're still up against it, despite the major victories that we've had, despite the price appreciation that's right around the corner. You're right in the last mile before XRP all-time high. We truly are there. But are they done suppressing and manipulating and distracting you from XRP? Oh, God, no. Oh, gosh, no. Now, this is from Eleanor Terrett talking with James Seyffert, who is the Bloomberg expert from, the ETF expert from Bloomberg, I should say. These dates are all intermediate, and we will likely see final decisions on a lot of the crypto ETPs in Q4. For the XRP spot ETF, James is eyeing mid-October around the 18th as a final decision deadline. Now, he says it's possible the SEC won't take all that time to make its decision, but a lot will hinge on how actively they engage on the applications. I am betting on the side that this gets done before Q4. I don't think that we're into Q4. That would be October. And that's the final deadline that they have. Now, there's already timelines and deadlines that are coming up for other ETFs. And I don't think that they want to give Franklin Templeton and a couple other players a head start. Just like with the Bitcoin ETFs, they went live with 11 at the same time. I anticipate them to do the same thing for XRP. They'll go live with, 7, 10, a dozen spot XRP ETFs at once, and they'll say, here you go. And I don't think that they're going to be waiting. To fulfill the mandate from President Trump of making this the crypto capital of the world, it would be a failure by Paul Atkins and the SEC to delay this until October. It would be an absolute failure. So I think it would be unacceptable for President Trump. I think that the SEC has already shown us that we have a new day. They're moving a lot faster. And the deadline that he mentions here in the middle of October is the final and last deadline. Like, they have to respond by the middle of October to some of these ETFs. But there's already a few coming up with deadlines that have had to been postponed a little bit. But I'm anticipating that this will go live. Our first spot XRP ETFs will go live, probably sometime in June, July, August. I don't think that we're waiting until October for the first XRP ETPs to go live. That's just my opinion, though. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, this is why we stay locked in right now. United Kingdom to collaborate with the United States to boost adoption of cryptocurrency. When you got BlackRock, you got the IMF admitting that a reset of the global monetary order is underway. When you got the UK wanting to partner up with America, I thought that we were at war with these countries, right? This trade tariff, oh my gosh, no, it's all nonsense. They're all speaking about how to roll out this new financial system in accordance with, you have Basel III requirements, you have ISO 222 messaging standard compliance. There's other parts of this. They're checking all the boxes, making sure that everybody can get in, right? And failure to do so will leave, countries behind, institutions behind. And for you guys, I don't think that any of us are going to get left behind because we've been here and they want to keep on giving us time to buy these assets suppressed. We'll keep taking advantage of it because we see this and we've been watching this and observing while they talk about, this is still years away. They're getting their ducks in a row ready to launch this year. Now, continuing on, this is from Jack McDonald, who is the CEO of Standard Custody and the SVP of stablecoins at Ripple. The March monthly independent attestation for RLUSD is live. RLUSD is available on new exchanges, including Kraken. We've integrated RLUSD into Ripple payments for select customers, plus announced the acquisition, $1.25 billion for Hidden Road, which will use RLUSD as collateral for its clients, creating a critical bridge between crypto and traditional finance. RLUSD is being used in DeFi liquidity pools such as Aave and Curve Finance. As always, you can find all of the reports here. Now I'm going to show you. I retweeted Jack earlier today and I said RLUSD the standard. Why? Because RLUSD is the only stablecoin that I know of that is actually over collateralized. Take a look. Circulating supply of RLUSD is 294 million. The RLUSD reserve funds is 305.9 million. So we are looking at 11 million in over collateralization here for RLUSD. Almost 12 million. Ripple is not playing around, and there's nobody else in the space that's doing this. Nobody else. Now, what's exciting to see is the fact that RLUSD is now being integrated within other networks. We've seen other networks like Band Protocol is now providing data and connecting and integrating with the XRP ledger. We see that Cosmos has just been integrated with the XRP ledger EVM sidechain as well. So you're starting to see these bridges took some time, but now we're starting to see, we're cutting the ribbon. Here's the bridge to Cosmos. Here's the bridge to the EVM. We already got the bridge to Zahao. You got Corium. You got Flare, which is ready to bridge over with F assets, right? You're seeing all these bridges. We're now cutting ribbons and opening up these bridges for everybody to hop in. And RLUSD is the missing link. It really is. We didn't need more. God bless the memesters. We didn't need more memes, right? Now, that's not going to stop the memesters from making more memes. They will. They're not going to stop, and they're going to actually create more as we move into the next phase of this bull run. And be careful because the vultures want your XRP. Remember, you got the gold. Don't let them take it from you. But what we needed in our ecosystem was a stablecoin from a reliable, trusted issuer. See, if I had gone to the XRP ledger, my stablecoin probably would have done better than most because you guys do trust me. But we needed a legitimate issuer of a stablecoin, not just a Joe Blow, not one of these other little groups that's playing around. We needed a legitimate issuer, and now we have essentially a bank in Ripple that has now been created. when you look at what the entity Ripple now is, the services that they provide, this is not a little tech startup out of San Francisco with a cute idea anymore. This is 70 billion in payments already processed over the past decade, but they just took a quantum leap to acquire a company that does 10 billion in volume daily. So they'll be moving what took them 10 years to move every 7 days. They'll be moving 3 trillion on a yearly basis just through this acquisition, not including what else they're doing too. And this all is happening while we're still under a lawsuit, while we still are under that cloud. Now, we can start to see the sun's peeking out, and boy, is it bright. And boy, is it going to feel good. We got a few last raindrops dropping on us. A little gusty, you know. But the storm's about to pass. And it's about to be blue skies forever for XRP. Or relatively speaking, for the next 5 to 10 years, right? And I know how frustrating it is to see these, raindrops still falling on us in the form of ETFs being delayed. The case is still not officially settled up, right? We're right there. We are right there. And the end is in sight. And what the end is XRP entering a new reality and establishing a higher and higher floor price. And we're already at a point where most people are priced out. Most people are distracted. Most people are confused. And most people don't even have conviction with a bag of XRP that they have. They're treating this like a short-term trade. I'm going to, throw a little money here, try to double it up. And it's no different than going to the casino for some folks. Versus those of us who understand what's actually happening here with XRP. Now, I want to hone in on these markets. This is going to be the last part of my updates, which I was able to get through my live show here in about 40 minutes, which is not too bad. We're right on schedule here tonight. I'm going to open up the chat for Q&A, but I want to remind everybody of the giveaway that's taking place here tonight. I've pinned it up in the comments. It's also in the description. But to enter the XRP giveaway, we're going to give away 1,000 XRP. 2 people will receive 500 XRP. Winners will be selected on Thursday, but we're going to collect entries tonight. So to enter the giveaway, you simply just place an order for the XRP family merch on our website or on our TikTok shop. You will be entered into our giveaway, and the selection will be done on Thursday. And I'm going to bring back that wheel. I know you guys like the wheel. And we're following up here. We gave away 300 XRP on Sunday. Now we're up in the ante. Huge shout out to 1970 Legend for funding this one for us. And we're just going to continue to keep it coming for you guys, okay? But to enter the giveaway, just place an order for XRP family merch during tonight's live show. I will make sure to give you guys a heads up on when I'm going to be cutting it off, but it will be a hard cutoff at the end of the show. And for anybody who's going to be watching this tomorrow after you wake up, the entries will no longer be being collected, okay? So to enter the giveaway, you got to get your order in tonight during the live show. You still got some time. I still have some adult beverage to sip on, and cheers to that. Okay. Now, Dom Trader View 2. He says, this really just seems like a hated rally. Funding is still flat, spot premium heading higher, max pain seems like it's higher. And what he means by that is, how do the exchanges extract the most amount of value from you and me? How do they inflict max pain? When everybody's bearish and everybody's going short, they send it higher. When everybody's long in the farm, 20x, 50x, MEXC now gives you 500x leverage, let's go. That's when they short us and they kill it. And that's how we inflict max pain. They know the exact price that they can take this down to. They know the exact price that you can take this down to for max pain. Now, this data says that most of the market is offsides. Most of the market doesn't believe. And I've seen that sentiment in listening to some of the stock guys that I listen to. Listening on X Spaces, listening on CNBC. I mean, these guys don't know what to do. These are seasoned investors that have been in the markets for decades, and they're struggling to find value. Meanwhile, I mean, over this past weekend, we found 3 winners, 3 real winners. We got in on Zebek. I told you guys about that one. Over the weekend, I told my Discord group about DIA, and I made a quick video on DIA this morning. That one's sending. And then I mentioned to you guys over the past, 2 days that I got in on this Joey meme coin on the XRP ledger too. See, for me, I'm willing to go wherever we can find value. And so I told you how I'm going to start trading on the Coinbase futures, and I'm going to be creating a whole video titled The Ultimate XRP Hedge, in which I break down the multiple ways that I'm hedging my XRP position. My XRP bag is, relatively big, and it's ridiculously long. And so any sophisticated investor would want a way to hedge that investment, to hedge that bet. And so I'm going to be making a separate video, and it's going to be called The Ultimate XRP Hedge Strategy. And I'm going to talk about how I use futures, how we use arbitrage trading, how we use even XRP meme coins, and how we're going to use the AMM to hedge our XRP position. Okay, it's going to be titled The Ultimate XRP Hedge Strategy. But what I find so interesting is it's like over here in the crypto space, we all have big conviction on our place. At least the OGs do. I mean, you got a lot of new people that are kind of just coming in and kind of scared, they throw some money around and, oh, my bag went down 10% today. I'm like, okay, not a big deal. But where I find it hilarious is the fact that the stock market still has a ways to go of finding real value. And meanwhile, over here in the crypto space, the road couldn't be more clear. Are we still going to hit some bumps along the way? Of course. But it couldn't be more clear from what I'm seeing as far as the only result, the only answer to our debt, currency, and liquidity crisis is you either have to write off the debt or you have to inflate our way out. We win in both scenarios. It's just that simple. We have the assets that back the new system and that run the rails of the new system. And then if they decide to keep blowing it up and we go into the next wave of inflation, we win as well in that scenario too. So we positioned ourselves correctly. And it really is a testament to having a thesis, having conviction, and what that can do for you. While everybody else is freaking out and it's complete chaos out there, we're like, well, what's everybody freaking out about? I got utility. It's based in America. It solves real problems. The addressable market's in the trillions. Why wouldn't that get us turned on a little bit? You know what I'm saying? What are we worried about? As long as we stay liquid, as long as we stay in the game, and what I mean by that is we got our job, we got our businesses, we got our side hustle, we make sure we stay in the game, we make sure we don't get cleaned out, we don't go long the farm, we just continue to stack. Just continue to stack. And even if I talked about some of the trades that I just made, even if you're not into that, you're not into playing around like that, that's okay. You're going to be just fine stacking and accumulating suppressed assets because they're backed into a corner. Write off all the debt and reset us back to an asset-based system, we win. Or go the route of inflation. Will it be hyperinflation or just a moderate level of inflation? It's all relative. We win in that scenario too. So just the same thing that I've said with the Black Swan events. It doesn't matter to me what Black Swan event takes place because we're prepared accordingly. The same way that we prepare for one Black Swan is pretty close to how you prepare for another one. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference whether it be the zombies or whether it be the aliens, right? You got a slight difference, but you get the point. It's pretty much the same. But I think that Dom Trader View 2 makes a great point, is that a lot of folks just are still in disbelief that this rally is for real. And I would even extend that. I mean, the stock market, I have reason to be concerned about. Bitcoin, I have a reason to be concerned about as far as, yes, it'll move back to the upside, but how big is that upside? A lot of guys been talking about Bitcoin going to 200,000, 300,000 this cycle. I think that's a stretch. Ethereum. Is Ethereum going to make a return? Probably going to have a little bit of a run, but what's the upside potential? Versus on some of these utilities that we've got, I'm looking at some of these tickers, I'm like, wow, if we go back to just half of the previous all-time high, we got ourselves a 5-bagger. You know, we go back to all-time high, we got ourselves a 7x. I mean, what's in front of us is spectacular. It's just a matter of riding this storm out. Yes, our timeline's been extended. We thought XRP was going to be at an all-time high by March or April. Shoot, we thought XRP was going to be at an all-time high 4 or 5 years ago. Here we are. And this is about to turn around. I mean, it's as clear as can be to me. There's only two ways out, and we win in both scenarios. And the scenarios that I'm talking about are the same for us as it is for other countries as well, too. You either default or you inflate, or a combination of the two. It's just that simple. But with that being said, I want to take a look at our markets, and then I want to go into Q&A. You still got plenty of time to get your orders in if you want to enter the 1000 XRP giveaway. I don't know how many people have entered so far. I've seen quite a few orders have come in, so I'm assuming that we got probably a couple dozen at least. But you know, you could be entering this giveaway, and you know, if only 20, 30, last time around 50 people, what do we have? 46, something like that, 48. Almost 50 people got in their orders for the last giveaway that we did for 300 XRP. So if we get the same, maybe a little bit more, you're talking about 1 in 50, 1 in 60. Well, you know, I mean, even if we had 100, 1 in 100 odds at 500 XRP. This could get interesting. Now, let's get an update here. My little Joey ticker down a little bit, but this thing's been holding really well. It looks like we might be building some support right here on this Joey ticker. Yep, we got a little pullback here, but that's okay. We'll be watching that one. Let's take a look at some of our other cryptocurrencies, and then I'm going to check super chats. I see we got some folks who came in. We'll check that in a second. I'm on the daily chart, and that's an important point. A lot of folks on the 5-minute, 10-minute, unless we're day trading, leverage trading, or playing around, what are we doing? Zoom out. Bitcoin's still at 94.6. I mean, we closed off the day at 94,200. Not bad at all. We're still way above that 92,000 support. So is everything intact for Bitcoin? Yes. Where's Ethereum at? Well, holy cow. Gosh, this thing is just... Oh, boy. Ethereum. This thing bled out 66% from that top. That's a rough one. Wow. From 4,000 down here to 1,300. Wow. That one's a bleeder. XRP, though. Holy cow, we got a lot of crap going on this chart, don't we? No, we don't, actually. I keep it really simple, as a matter of fact. Let's delete this trend. We see that one. Higher lows being set. That's great. You see this trend line, which is another, all these are lines in the sand meant to be broken. Sure enough, we broke out of that one. Why do I have two vertical lines on my chart right here? Well, the first one's going to be your May 7th. That's the Fed meeting. That's the Fed meeting, okay? And the second one, I think, is going to be our... Is that the full moon or the new moon? I forget which one it is. That would be the new moon. And so, yeah, that's going to be the full moon of May. And the pattern here that I've seen here with XRP has been interesting. I know it's crazy. I know it's woo-woo. I'm not saying that you need to believe in the stars, but this is an interesting little indicator that I've been looking at. The correlation basically since December has been spot on. Tops around new moon, which are blue. Bottoms around full moon in the gray. I know it's crazy. I know it's woo-woo. I don't do the woo-woo too much. But sometimes you have to take a look at the woo-woo, if you know what I'm saying. Here we are on Stellar, and this guy went all the way down here to our target of 20 cents. And shout out to everybody that picked it up down there. Already back up here to 28. Nice little move to 30 cents over the past week. That's not bad at all. Building back up here. And my targets on Stellar are back at about $2. That should be interesting. Flare had a little pop as it went live with Tether. That got a little excitement. And we are setting a new higher level right now at 1.8, just below 2 cents. We basically went right up to 2 cents, rejected, and then back on down to this level. But I still think that we see some excitement for Flare. I dropped my deep dive on Flare. That's on my 2025 coin review playlist. And yeah, and like I said, this is another one where even if it just goes back to its previous all-time high of 9 cents, that's right above our 2618 fib. That is so easily done. And that right there is nothing to complain about. Absolutely nothing to complain about if we do that move, right? Right at 2 cents, go up to 10 cents, 4 or 5x, not a problem. XDC I see running up to 40, 50 cents, and right now it's back up to 8 cents. Starting to build a little momentum here on this one. And all of our utility coins have really turned around. Algo back up to 23 cents. Stronghold, probably going to be my next deep dive. Looking to, drop a zero and get back up to a penny. It went up to 2 cents after the election. And I'll let you guys know what my full targets are when I drop my deep dive on Stronghold. But yeah, I think that you could be looking at a 5-cent Stronghold probably. Yep. And then our H-bar bouncing back up to about 18.7. That's pretty good for H-bar. Remember, H-bar was one of the top performers with a Trump pump of 860%. H-bar performed better than XRP and XLM after the Trump election. And this is why I picked up a nice bag. I dropped my H-bar deep dive for you guys as well. Let's take a look at what else did I want to see. DAG consolidating. Still setting higher lows, but hasn't really, picked up steam in a major way yet. I mean, we did go up to 4.5 cents, I guess. So we are starting to move back up. We'll see if we can continue that. Zebek, big spike, big move. It's a big one. From the lows, kicking myself for not taking advantage of this one. Could have dollar cost averaged in. Okay. But yeah, we're watching Zebek here. I think that it does have a ways to go. Let's see where the XRP futures contract is at on the daily. It's at 226.5. Whereas XRP spot 224. So once again, you got a premium right now on the XRP futures contract on Coinbase. 226.5, about a 2.5 cent difference. Yeah, about 2.5, 3 cent difference. And that's what I've been observing on this Coinbase futures is about a 3 cent arbitrage opportunity on a regular basis. I'll speak more on that when I drop my XRP Ultimate Hedge strategy. Now, let me catch up. Here on our super chats. Market's just fine. That's okay. Little pullback's okay. Still a higher low, so that's just fine. Daniel, thank you for the 2 spot. Let's go. Lock in, fam. Christian Capone, can you place multiple orders? I guess I didn't really decide on that one. I would say on our last one, I said no. On the last one, I said no. Yeah, so I don't know. I would say no. Let's just do one entry per name. Yeah, 1 entry per name. Blake Preston, thank you for the 5 spot. Order in, the merch is tight. Thanks for all you do, Zach. Glad to be on this journey with the XRP community and all the wonderful people here. I appreciate you. Thank you. Just bought the XRP Better Bitcoin tee. This is from XRP A11Y. Thank you for the 5 spot. Let's go, Zach Attack. Will I get killed wearing this at BTC Vegas next month? See you all there, XRP baby. You might need a little extra security. You might see some Bitcoin maxi tiers, and make sure you collect those for me. Okay. You might have some issues. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one to wear to XRP Las Vegas. If you do, you got to send me a picture. Okay. I want to see you guys when you do get your merch. Shoot me a picture. Tag me on X. Post a picture on X and shoot me a picture. And I'd love to see you guys representing. Wes Hill, thank you for the 10 spot. Don't you think eventually when XRP is in full use, the price has to be stabilized at high prices? The volatility can't be sustainable? Yes. I think that price gets stabilized after ETFs are live. We have the pump from that. And so my expectation is that XRP stabilizes up at, we run 20 to 30 bucks, come back down to 10, 15, something like that. And we start to stabilize as we get up into the double digits, and we get up to, 50 bucks. Yeah. Yeah. And it could be stabilized a lot higher too, by the way. Yeah. But I see that, yes, it has to be higher. It's not liquid enough to address the market that Ripple set out to address. Even just bringing some of that liquidity from Hidden Road could take XRP to multiples of where we're at right now. So yeah. Robert Fox, thank you for the 10 spot. Does $392 in merch qualify for a free hat? LOL, let's go. XRP Robert, did you really just place an order for 392 bucks? What all did you get, man? The bundles will be added this week. I know folks have been asking about that. I'm going to create an XRP family bundle, which will have this one with the monkey. We'll have the Brad Garlinghouse tattoo and then the XRP family shirt. We're going to bundle up those three, and then we're going to bundle up the 6 that we have from the Bearable Guys series as well, too. So I'm sorry that those are not live yet. We're in the middle of getting inventory in, uploading it to the website. More hats are going to be on the website as well this week, so stay tuned for that. My apologies for not getting in. But yeah, Robert, that's a big one. We might be able to do something for you. I'll check that out, Robert. Thank you so much. Thank you. Northern Dynasty Minerals up to $1.20 from 30 cents. Looking for Trump EPA backing. Whoa, 20, 30, 50, 100 bucks. Do your own research. I've been banging the drum. Yes, you have, Dennis. Yes, you have. You are consistent on that one. You're going to be making fun of me like these memesters do. They'll say, oh, Zach, you faded this one. I got, I made a big bag off this one. You shouldn't have faded it. I tried to tell you. That's going to be Dennis with his Dynasty Minerals, Northern Dynasty Minerals. What's the ticker? NAK? I've been looking to get exposure to the commodity space. It's been lagging, and the inflation has been eating away at the margins for the commodity companies, right? The miners, the producers, refiners, everybody. The inflation is, gold's gone up, silver's gone up, but they're getting killed on everything else, permitting. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do here in the next cycle. I think that they will do well, but it's kind of like, our investment in silver. We've still been waiting for that one to pop off. It's very similar to some of our crypto investments. We've been waiting for them to pop off. The only people that have more discipline in the XRP community would be the silver stackers and commodity investors. Yeah, they have conviction. If anybody can complain about the timeline being extended, it's the commodity investors. These guys have made great fundamental investments in some good companies, but the inflation's eating away. Silver price isn't where it should be. So there's multiple factors to it. Permits are also holding up. Regulations. Yeah. 1970, good to see you, man. 20 spot. Appreciate you, brother. You're so great. He says, I just made a purchase. If I win 500 XRP on Thursday, then Zach will spin the wheel again, and that person will win not 500, but 1,000 XRP. So he's doubling down. 1970, he's doubling down. This is the type of people we have in the XRP family, I'm telling you. It's class act. Class act. God bless you, brother. It's coming back tenfold. Matt Hall, thank you for the 10 spot. Love the content, Zach. We are getting closer to the reward, 100%. 100%. Thank you for that. Appreciate you guys. Okay. If you guys haven't already, please like this video. Please share it out far and wide. Tell your friends, family, everybody. Okay, we're going to do one order per name. So if you want to place multiple orders, just use a different name, I guess. I won't be able to tell. But we're just going to do one order per name. And you have some time here to get your order in, okay? We still got something to sip on. We're still going to hang out here for a bit. So get your order in if you want to participate. DIA at 55 cents. Zach, what's going on? Yeah, so I got into this coin at 50 cents. Let the Discord know about it this weekend. I'm starting to see it move. It did pop up to 70 cents yesterday. So this is DIA. This is an Oracle play similar to Chainlink or Flare. All-time highs above $5. I got targets at $2 to $2.50. Popped up to 70 cents yesterday. And kind of just coming down with the rest of the market right now. It's a low cap, so doesn't take much liquidity in to pump it up, and it doesn't take much selling pressure to bring it back down. But I do anticipate that this one's going to go a few multiples higher than where it's at right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So nothing's changed on that one for me. I do believe that it will be. I do believe that it will be pushed up quite a bit higher. Where's my merch? It's at my website. If you just go to zachrector.com, I have the link in the description. Or if you go to my website, just hit the shop tab. Just right on my website, hit the shop tab. There it is. You can also order on TikTok. Dark pools, what's going on with that? So I'm going to try not to get frustrated. There's a lot of people talking out of their you-know-what. That's what I have to say about the dark pools, especially on TikTok. I mean, okay, here's the thing. There's private ledgers. Ripple's using private ledgers for central banks and other institutions that want to keep their messaging and transactions private. That's all it is. There are not two prices of XRP. The gal on TikTok who made the dark pool video does not know what she's talking about. I think that she's crazy. And what she's saying just isn't true. That's what it comes down to. David Schwarz himself has said that there are not two prices of XRP on the public ledger and the private ledger. Now, I did see that Jake put out a video talking about dark pools. He was talking about dark pools in the context of OTC markets, where you buy over the counter, and that means basically you buy off of an exchange in a private, closed off exchange that's not public. So Jake made a video yesterday talking about dark pools and how these large institutions are buying XRP OTC in dark pools. So it's not being tracked. Nobody's seeing it. Excuse me. Nobody's seeing it, but it is taking place, and it's happening off the public order books. So he was talking about dark pools in that context. The context in which that gal on TikTok was saying the dark pools and Ripple's got something hidden in the code where they can take it's not the case at all. So we put that in the FUD bucket, which is the dumpster that we keep right next to it. So we just throw that trash right in there. We take that, and that's what we do with that. Okay. I don't know why he used the word dark pools, but yeah, what he was talking about was OTC markets, which is nothing new. Same thing takes place in stocks. And, that's how they're accumulating large positions without it being on the record, without it being on the order books for us to see. And we come to an inflection point down the road here where, it comes out, the NDAs expire. They don't care about the NDAs anymore. They let the genie out of the bottle that, yes, we acquired 1 billion XRP. Yes, we acquired 5 billion XRP. And this will be the largest institutions in the world. But there are no dark pools. We're lagging again. The aliens coming after us again? Okay, guys, here's the deal. Here's the deal. How do you make money giving me XRP? Zach brings up dark pools. The stream starts lagging. Ooh. Not supposed to talk about the suits, what they're doing here. Are we better now? Okay, guys, you better get your order in before the stream cuts off. Because if it cuts off, the giveaway cuts off, okay? I'm going to give you guys another 25 minutes, okay? I'm gonna try to cut this one off at an hour and a half. But we're going to do another 25 minutes of Q&A rapid fire, okay? But I need your help. I need you to like this video. I need you to share it out far and wide. You guys probably don't want to share the stream tonight. That's probably what's happening. You guys aren't sharing the stream because you don't want other people to know about the giveaway. I see right through you. Okay? You need to pay it forward. You need to smash it, tap it, and share it out far and wide. Okay? Yeah. 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 So we're going to go for another 20, 25 minutes, okay? Well, you still got some time, but time is running out. No sound for the most part. Any shirts 100% cotton? Yes, Susan, they're all 100% cotton. Yep. No polyester. Nope. Nope. 100% cotton. So they will shrink a little bit. They will shrink a little bit. Yeah. Especially for you guys getting big and juicy out there. Sounds glitching. And yes, we are live. Yeah, 100% live worldwide. For everybody who's been asking me, what about Europe? Somebody asked about Mexico. We're worldwide with it now. So everybody can participate. Sound is still in and out. How do we check on our previous orders, Zach? Email merch@zachrector.com. Email merch@zachrector.com if you guys have any questions about your orders. The only thing that should be delayed right now is we just sold out of our dog tags. And so I just placed an order with Tyler from the Thai Project. I got the notification that it shipped out today. So the only thing that might be getting delayed right now would be this, but I already have more on the way. So if you have any inquiries about your merch orders, just email merch@zachrector.com. You guys might have to back out of the stream and then come back in. I don't know if it's lagging. On my end, it looks perfect. On my end, everything looks great. So I don't know. This guy asks, what's up with your dad's skin around his eyes? Is he having work done? I had somebody else say this to me too. And I always have the raccoon eyes from my sunglasses, which I'm trying not to wear sunglasses as much anymore. Because now I think that sunglasses might not be good for us. They're blocking out that light spectrum that we should be taking in. So I'm trying to take in more light and do the red light. Wifey's got me on the red light. So we do natural light, we do red light. But I'm trying to get rid of my raccoon eyes. But yeah, no, I don't have any work. Some people, why are you wearing makeup? No, I'm not wearing makeup. Okay. I don't have a skin routine. I don't do any of that. I have a little lotion, put a little moisturizer on. That's it. I don't do 50 steps. I don't do any of that. I try to get out in the sun. That's about it. But that I've had people say that. That cracks me up. Yes, James, Uphold did have a service disruption today. Is it back? Yeah, the link's in the description, guys. For those of you guys that are trying to get your order in, it's right in the description. Just how my name's spelled. There's nothing crazy. Alex, my apologies, my friend. Order placed. Damn, that shipping fee to down under. My apologies. I mean, the thing is, guys, that's what I'll say is that with the international orders, it's a crapshoot. Even up to Canada. We've had orders make it to Canada and then they just sit parked at the Canadian mail service for a week, going nowhere, and then they ship them off. So we've had even our orders to Canada take a couple weeks to get up there and then to get to their destination. We've had some orders in Australia take 3 weeks to almost a month on one of them. That was very frustrating. And so my apologies. It's kind of like we package it up, get it done as fast as possible, put it in, and then we pray. But we will always make it right, guys. That's the thing, is I will always make it right. If there is ever an issue, you know, something gets lost, something crazy happens, just know that we'll make it right no matter what. Okay? And for any inquiries, just email merch@zachrector.com. Okay? Chu Ferrigno, thank you for the 2 spot. Thoughts on Base, Coinbase Cold Wallet, 1 mil, 10. I don't know. You know, the Base ecosystem is growing rapidly. They're doing some interesting things over there. Some stuff that I'm not sure if I understand, like the social media deal that they were trying to do, where every they were making every one of your posts into a coin or an NFT or something like that. I don't know if that'll actually pick up steam or gain traction, but it seems like, you know, they just integrated with DAG. You know, a big, you know, I like what DAG's got cooking. And so that integration's been interesting. As far as the Coinbase cold wallet, I don't particularly like Coinbase the best. I mean, I still use them and they are offering me really good fees right now on trading. I talked about how I'm going to start trading that Coinbase futures contract, but I prefer other wallets other than Coinbase personally. But for all of you guys that are worried about custody, if you go to Caleb and Brown, I have them linked up down below or at my website. You can get in touch with them and they'll offer you personalized brokerage service with institutional grade custody for everybody, no minimum. So if you have $1,000 in crypto, they're putting it in institutional grade custody for you. So if you're getting started and you're worried about, you don't know how to deal with this, you know, the tech, the wallets, the exchanges, you can actually talk to somebody on the phone. So I would recommend Caleb and Brown if that sounds like you and how not tech savvy you might be. Caleb and Brown is your solution. Okay. And yeah, I'm sorry, Alex. I wish we didn't have to charge as much to ship it to Canada, to ship it international. But yeah, they're hitting us pretty hard on those. James, I appreciate you for reminding us about Uphold. Did anybody say if Uphold is back on? Is Uphold back on? I'm looking at Opulence 434. Got my merch. Thanks, Zach. Okay, yeah. It is back. Okay, good. I don't know what the issue. I don't know what the issue was with Uphold today. And this is once again why I keep my options open. I have Coinbase, I have Uphold, I have Caleb and Brown. Somebody in our community had asked me about preparing, for exit strategy, for trading going forward. And for me, I'm trading different things on each platform. I have XRP parked on each platform. And this is exactly why. Some platforms have cryptos and others ones don't. So I like to have a few that allow me to do all the different things that I'm trying to do. And then when it comes to selling off, I also want to have the options available. I got orders placed on Coinbase, Uphold, and Caleb and Brown to sell XRP, to sell other cryptocurrencies. And that's how I operate. The other thing that I'm going to be using for selling XRP is I'm going to be using the AMM with RLUSD. And that's something I'm going to talk about in my ultimate XRP ultimate hedge strategy. How am I going to hedge XRP after it pumps up and then on its way back down? That's when I'm going to be going into the XRP RLUSD liquidity pool. Because as RLUSD is appreciating against XRP, or to say it another way, as XRP is coming down in dollar terms, I'm going to be making more XRP. Right? RLUSD is appreciating against XRP. The way that the AMM works is you're going to receive more of whatever is not performing as good. So essentially, when I went into the XRP casino coin pool, I had my assets in there for a year. I made 70% cash on cash, which is great. The problem being, if I would have just held XRP during that time, I would have made 400% when XRP pumped. So that's what we call impermanent loss, which becomes permanent loss, realized loss, or in this case, we still made money, but I didn't make as much because I would have been better off holding XRP because XRP appreciated against casino coin. So I was making more casino coin. I ended up with less XRP and more casino coin after the 1 year. And if I were to cash out both assets from a cash on cash standpoint, I made 70%, which is nothing to complain about, right? 70% over the course of a year. That's fantastic, right? But the problem being XRP pumped 400, 500%. Now, Crypto Poor, I saw you talking about Decent. I wanted to mention that Decent has now added XRP Ledger tokens. And so now you can swap within your Decent wallet for XRP Ledger tokens. Let me see if I can find this tweet. This is nice. This is really good. I just added Decent wallet. If you guys are looking to use the Decent wallet, it's a great cold storage solution. And I have it linked up in the description down below. New swap support is live. Swap your favorite XRP-based Trustline tokens instantly inside your Decent wallet. That includes Sologenic. They even got the ticker Phoenix. Now, how much did the Phoenix guys pay to get their ticker listed there? I wonder why they picked Solo and why they picked Phoenix. That's interesting. The Sologenic team threw them a little cash. Said, hey, okay, yeah, give us I don't know. They might have just picked those at random. I don't know. The XRP memesters. Let's see. Dennis says, I bet they were juicing the XRP Ledger ODL for the ETFs. Uphold's been a part of on-demand liquidity for a while now. Yeah. Where's this troll at? Let's get this guy in here. Let's just put user in timeout. We'll put him in timeout for 30 minutes. That's good. There you go. See you later. Good luck and God bless. And also get your game up. Some of these trolls, man, I like to let the trolls know that they suck. It's like, man, you're not making anybody laugh. You're not saying anything slick. Give us something better. When ordering, how do you match up for the drawing? So this is what I did for the last giveaway. I just went to my shop, and I just printed out all of the orders, and then I added everybody's name and order to that wheel, and it's called the pickerwheel.com. I'll show you guys it right now. Where's it at? Picker wheel. This is it right here. And what this does is this allows you to make a random decision. You just put all of your inputs right here. And so we had like 48 orders that came in. So I put all of the orders in, and then everybody's names was on the wheel. And then I just hit shuffle 3 times, and then we hit spin. And then it just spins for us, picks a random person, and there you go. And on Thursday, we'll be picking 2 people to win 500 XRP each. Late to the stream, how do we participate in the giveaway? It is linked up in the description down below. It is a pinned comment, and it's very simple. All you have to do is place an order on our website or on TikTok Shop for the XRP family merch, and you'll be good to go. But you have to do it during this live show, which is going to end in about 10 minutes. So we're down to about 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. Pretty cool idea with the giveaway. Yeah. Shout out to 1970 Legend. He's the one who approached me and said, let's give 1,000 XRP. I see Joey XRP's in the chat. That's funny. Oh, Joey. Did I get the drum roll? I need to get the drum roll lined up, don't I? We need to get the drum roll, don't we? I didn't realize that Joey was a kangaroo. That's pretty funny. A baby kangaroo. How cute. Dark pool thoughts. See, TikTok is obsessed with the dark pools. I mean, this video that this gal did must have just gone viral. Everybody on TikTok's worried about the dark pools. Guys, there's not 2 prices of XRP. I'm going to pull up the clip from David Schwarz just to play it again for everybody.
But the question is, will the value of XRP be the same in the private ledgers as it is on the public? Yes. The value
Yes. Full stop. Let's play it again for everybody. Will the value be the same on the public ledger as the private ledger? David Schwarz, no hesitation. Finishes the drink of whatever he's drinking. Yes. No hesitation. Yes, it will be the same price. Listen to his explanation here. This is actually Jake Claver actually clipped up this video. He posted it January 18th, 2024. Here we go. Play it again.
But the question is, will the value of XRP be the same in the private ledgers as it is on the public?
Yes. The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools. If it doesn't make sense to isolate something, like there's no place where gold is worth twice as much as it is now, because if there was, people would just bring gold there and they would they would buy gold somewhere else and they would sell it there. Unless the only way that you can have the value be very different in 2 places is if there's a lot of friction. And if there's friction, someone will make a business of removing that friction. So I don't see any realistic scenario where XRP has significantly different value unless something's wrong. Like a good example of a case, there was a time where the value of XRP, they called it the kimchi premium, right? Where the value of XRP in some Asian countries was very high, but that was because there were capital controls, right? That was because things were bad. I think that's a sign that something is not going well. The value proposition of XRP is that you can take it to all of the places, right? If I sell you some gold and you say, hey, this gold can only be used in jewelry, you're like, well, that kind of sucks. I don't want that gold, right? The value proposition of gold is that you have access to the entire value proposition of gold. And so I don't see any scenario in which where it makes sense to snip pieces off, again, unless something is wrong.
And, he used the example there of gold. We see this right now where they're bringing gold from the West. The West has been selling gold and they're bringing it to the East. And that, it's called the Shanghai premium, where on the Shanghai market, gold was going at $80 to $100 more per ounce, right? Now that's not dark pool, but that's arbitrage. That's just the same thing that I'm doing on the Coinbase futures. The reason why the Coinbase futures arbitrage might continue to persist for a while is because you can actually trade the contract for XRP. So like David said, if there is a price discrepancy in an arbitrage opportunity, traders will take advantage of that, or somebody will make a business out of that. And there has to be friction. Well, in the case of the Coinbase futures, there is no way to really hone in that arbitrage other than for more people to show up and for more people to trade the contract and keep it within a tighter spread of the spot market. But I expect the arbitrage opportunity to persist because it's not backed by real XRP. If it was, then that arbitrage opportunity I think would get closed up a lot faster. But David answers very simply, no. And I need to make a video on this. I've been meaning to make this over the past few days because I have an issue. But I'm telling you guys, TikTok has been freaking out about the dark pools. Like, I haven't seen it on Twitter. I haven't seen it on YouTube. It's only been on TikTok. And so whoever this gal is or claims to be, she did a good job going viral. And this is, the game. You either FUD XRP super hard to go viral or you hype it up to go viral. And I would know. I would know. Of course, everything that I hype up is backed by fundamentals. We don't just make up stories. So she did a good job in going viral. But the problem is that she spread some very bad misinformation about, making up these dark pools, this term dark pools with the private ledgers. And then she also said that the issue with the software update and basically the bad code that got submitted is some sort of backdoor that Ripple created so that they can take our XRP, and it couldn't be further from the truth. The issue didn't even affect the XRP ledger. It impacted one place where code for the ledger gets updated. And nobody that we know of got compromised. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people just make up dramatic things. They make a TikTok with some dramatic music playing in the background. They tell you that you're going to lose your XRP. They tell you that you're going to get screwed out. They go viral. And they get the attention that they were seeking. But I'll do a video on it. People need to understand the difference between OTC markets, private ledgers, dark pools. So I'll make a video tomorrow, just so that no more people have to be confused about this. I didn't think that it was still an issue, but yeah. Guys, we got a few minutes left to go. To enter the giveaway. I'm going to be wrapping up this live show shortly. So if you want to enter the 1000 XRP giveaway, you have a few minutes left to get your order in. It'll be a hard cutoff right at the end. Okay. Who is giving away 1000 XRP? I am. My good friend, 1970 Legend, one of our community members, he gave me 1000 XRP. He said, let's give back to the community. That's what we're doing. So 2 winners will be picked on Thursday. To enter the giveaway, all you got to do is place an order for XRP Family merch, but you only have a few minutes left to go. Mostly dark pools or OTC markets is used by institutions, and if you have enough money, you can go to OTC exchanges as well too. But you need a lot of money. Oh yeah, somebody asked. Yeah, Peter. Peter, send an email to merch@zachrector.com. And anytime you guys are inquiring about an order, make sure you include your order number. And so if you want to change your order from a large to an XL or whatever, just send us an email, merch@zachrector.com, and we'll get your order adjusted for you. Okay? Once again, that's merch@zachrector.com. Very simple. Hammer got in. There you go, brother. There you go. Yep. Now, I'm only going to count. There was like a handful of orders that came in before I started up the live, but the live show was supposed to start at 7, and I don't think I was on till 7:07 or something like that. So I'm going to count those orders because that was my fault for being late. That's okay. I saw some people comment that it was like 4 a.m. in Europe or wherever they were at, and they said, I'm placing the order. I'll watch the show tomorrow, but I wanted to enter the giveaway. So I'll make sure we include those. But right at the end of this show, when we cut it off, that will be the cutoff here. And like I said, guys, I'll give you a few more minutes, and then we'll be wrapping it up here shortly. Okay? We'll continue with the rapid fire. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a look here. Where are we at? Market still hanging out here at 224 for XRP. Yeah, we got a green daily candle right now. I mean, obviously we still have a long ways to trade this day, but we held 220. We set a higher low, and that's all we need to see. Right? I mean, to see that the trend is still our friend. We're still moving higher. But I had my purple box on here. I took this away. The reason why I had that was, where did I have that? Yeah, I had my box, and it was something like that, where basically I said, yeah, I'm expecting maybe a little bit of a pullback at some point leading up into the Fed meeting, and we actually ended up getting that. That was right here when we went down to 215. It was I drew my purple box on Saturday, so it was like that. And so we did tap down into the box real quick, down to 215. So, that played out, but I still would caution, are we going to get one more shakeup before the next Fed meeting? That could very well be. I still don't even know why the market was coming down this evening. Does anybody know why the market was coming back down? I didn't see Trump saying, he said some funny jokes at clowning Jerome Powell, clowning some troll that was in the crowd. I saw some clips of that, but I didn't see any big statements. Scott Bessent didn't say anything today. Howard Lutnick said that we got a deal approved. So the market was up on that news that a trade deal had been approved. Ducava official, I didn't see your question, my friend. I didn't see your question. What's your question? Oh, fiscal year? You're asking about the fiscal year? Try to order 2 shirts and it keeps airing out on the payment. Make sure that your card details match. So most of the time when orders fail, assuming that you are not overdraft or whatever, what happens is your information doesn't line up. So just double check that. Double check that. Yeah, so in regards to fiscal year, what's the question? The fiscal year, what was the question on that? Will the ETFs tomorrow increase or decrease the price? Well, the ETFs tomorrow have been delayed. That's when everything might hit, if not June. What's some people operate on different fiscal years. So you have like the government's on a different fiscal year than some corporations. Yeah, I mean, as far as that's when we might have everything hit or everything crash. Yeah, I mean, we're not in the clear 100%. The issues that we still face are the global margin call, the debt, currency, and liquidity crisis. The student loan bubble is popping. And starting in May, right at the beginning of May, they're going to start collecting on the student loans again. So, I mean, you got some serious problems that we still have around the corner. One other thing that I didn't include in tonight's show, but Pakistan is reporting that India is set to attack them. So we still have a World War III going on as well, too. But you have ISO 222 implementation supposed to be done this year. Like 2025 was the last year for systems being updated to ISO. So I would anticipate that, I think that we're moving higher over the next couple of months. The saying, sell in May and walk away. I don't know how much to hang on that. I would just look at, fundamentally, we move higher. Technically, our structure's intact to move higher. From a order book standpoint, we're holding very well. We just need more liquidity to come in. The ETFs will bring that. And the ETFs are set to come in here at the latest by October, but I anticipate them to come much sooner. The case is about to conclude for XRP. So you have bullish catalysts specific to XRP. But then on the macro, you have global M2 money supplies at a record high. We've never seen so much cash on the sidelines before. So, yeah, I think that we are moving higher in the short term. But could we still get hit? Yeah, for sure. The tariffs went live right at the beginning of Q2. So it was pretty well planned how they went live with the Liberation Day, April 2nd, because that was right after Q1 had ended and we already were getting beat up in Q1. So imagine, what would have happened there on the quarterly numbers had they gone live with the Liberation Day right before the end of the quarter. That would have been bad. So I like the timing of that. They went live April 2nd, and that gave us all of April to flush out, wipe it out, and then start to build back up. And we might still see a negative quarter for Q2. I mean, we very well could. There's a lot to unpack and build back. So we very well could get a technical recession in the first half of this year. But, I mean, your market's primed to move higher, at least on our utility cryptocurrencies. Yep. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes. Let's go 5 more minutes. I'm going to cut it off at an hour 45. We've been live for an hour and 39 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 more minutes. I'm cutting it off at the hour 45 marker. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like this video. We'll be back tomorrow with some more content. So make sure you guys stick around, subscribe, hit that notification bell. But if you want to enter the 1000 XRP giveaway, make sure you get your order in. You have 5 minutes to go. Hard cutoff when I kill this live show. I basically, when I kill the live show, I go to my website, I see what the last order is, write it down, and then I'll go to TikTok, write that last order down. So that's going to be a hard cutoff here in 5 minutes. How was that Vegas trip, Zach? Oh, it's going to be good. How many orders so far? That's a good question, James. Let me see. I don't know if I can count them here. Let me take a look. Okay, we got a couple that have failed, so hopefully you guys can get wrong shipping address. Okay, I'll check that. One out of 50. Okay, so we have, let's see, I have 50 emails here, but I got one from Expedia. Freaking Expedia. So we're right, you know, we got, yeah. Oh, wow, we had a bunch come in here, though. Wow. Wow. My Gmail gives me 50 emails per page, and I got a little over 2 pages, plus our TikTok orders, so we're over 100. We are over 100 now. You guys went crazy tonight. You guys went crazy tonight. Guys, you got 4 minutes to enter. 4 minutes to enter the giveaway. You got to check it. If you didn't receive an email, your order might not have gone through. So I've got a couple emails that show that your order has failed. Make sure you got the right info in there, okay? My guy. My guy. Oh boy. They're going to be working around the clock here to get these orders out for you guys. They're going to be like, what the hell did you just do? Oh boy. How do we join? You just have to buy some merch before this live show ends. So you got 3 minutes to go. You're on TikTok, so you can place an order on the TikTok shop, or you can go to my website, zachrector.com. But you have 3 minutes to go. No email, but I have the order number. Yeah, so you should get an order confirmation with your order number after it goes through. Two minutes. This is, I mean, 1,000 XRP. 1,000 XRP. Now we have 2 winners. So the winners will be getting just 500 XRP. But still, 500 XRP here. So when XRP goes to 589, you're looking at 589,000, right? XRP goes to 10,000. Our good friend 1970 Legend just gave away 10 mil. All right, you got 1 minute to go. 1 minute, final countdown. Can Ryan win again? Yes, I'm not going to exclude our previous winners. We had 6 winners from our last giveaway. Ryan Pike, Brian Tilton, Tony Zubaria, Julie Goyen, John E. Clark, and Joshua Dent was the extra. We were going to do 5. I was having fun, so we gave away another one. So we gave away 300 XRP total. Everybody got 50 XRP. Those 6 winners there. I'm not going to exclude them from this one, though. If they buy another order, they're in. Just subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Guys, we're down to the last 17 seconds, okay? If you haven't already, let's make sure we like this video. Make sure you guys have subscribed. Hit that notification bell. You got one last minute here to get your orders in. They're coming in hot. Najib, I saw you. You got in. Najib, you're good. All right, guys. Like I said, the only thing that might be delayed slightly is the dog tags, but I really don't see too much of a delay because I just got the confirmation from Tyler that my order was on the way. I ordered another 50 dog tags. So we have the XRP family and the Better Bitcoin dog tags from the Ty project. And by the way, he actually just sent me some more tags, or he's actually going to be sending me a sample. He has this new UV printer or some device that he got. And he showed me a metal business card. He showed me a couple other things too. I'm excited to see that. Yeah, Najib, I did get your order, my friend. So if the email might have gone to your spam or something, check that, okay? But guys, hey, we're going to have a lot of fun here on Thursday. Thursday, we are going to pick our winners. We're going to pick 2 of them. We're going to put everybody's name on the wheel. We're going to shuffle up that wheel 3 times. And we will pick 2 winners at the end of Thursday night's live show. You will have to listen to another rant. You will have to listen to another 45-minute update before I give you the winners. So, you know I got to keep you engaged. But seriously, guys, I really appreciate your support. The momentum that our community has and what's coming back to us, I'm telling you right now, you got guys like 1970 Legend who stepped up today and said, let's give 1,000 XRP back to the community. You have other people that have sent me other tips and donations. Even when you guys like our videos, when you share them out, you know, even the actions that you can take for free go a long way. And together, we are growing this community. We are keeping our community focused. We are getting our community the resources that we need. And most importantly, when XRP does go to 589, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to continue to be here for you. We are absolutely committed to providing the best content when it comes to current events, financial markets. The hot opportunity and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history is cryptocurrency right now. So we're, laser focused on that, but we're not going anywhere. So thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for everybody that got your order in. I'm about to kill the show, and that's when we will be cutting off all entries. So you have to stay tuned for the next giveaway. And I can't promise that we'll do another 1,000 in the next one, but we're definitely going to keep it coming. We want to have fun. We want to give back. And once again, I couldn't do it without your support. So thank you so much. All right. ZachRector.com. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're cutting it off now. Okay. Take care.